all the mama first look you say this one we don't go do.
Frown at what you're wearing.
This is the thing you wear. Bro, it's too much.
The Bible said that he left 99 to go and look for one. Is any pastor willing to leave 99 to look for one? This Gen Z we're talking about, they are like the one. On way back, some 20 years ago, food runs girl and food runs girl. Don't get near to it. People are doing drugs at home. Young boys are doing drugs under their parents' roof, and their parents are church workers, deacons. They have no idea. You say you carry the Spirit of God, but you're not even discerning enough to know that your daughter just had an abortion.
I don't see gospel Gen Zs. I don't seem to like see them.
The love in the world looks more genuine than the one in the church. So they follow the world. Yes, now if you go where they smoke Igbo like this, once you sit down and keep your finger like this, somebody go pass you kush now. Says, okay, let me even tell you, a lot of pastors are shaping up now. A lot of churches are shaping up now. It is because of Gen Z people. Because they're not afraid of anything. They will tell you exactly how it is. They are ready to criticize anything you do. They don't fear. That whole thought job I anointed and do my prophet no harm. It will not be for them. Now Moses is their time.
If you take away the internet, do you think that the buzz that the Gen Z have will still be there?
The Generation Z is like the luckiest of generations. They came when the internet was booming, when the internet has been circulated.
They make you feel like
confidence.
Yeah, they are the one. Everything about the internet right now is about them.
How about the talent?
There's actually nothing about Gen Z. What's the generation after Gen Z? The Alpha also.
Gen Alpha, yes.
Gen Alpha. They're greater than Gen Z already.
Guilty.
They are bolder.
What's your problem with Gen Z?
No. That's why I said.
bolder.
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
That's why I said, of which almost all of us here are guilty.
Why would somebody wake up now and tell you I'm an event planner? Why would somebody wake up and tell you I'm a makeup artist? In 1992, you tell somebody you're an event planner. You plan? It's your father's funeral that you wake up.
Where would you even see the opportunity?
Men kneel down to propose.
They argue and gossip.
Men kneel down to propose. Why did men kneel down to propose? And is this Gen Z people that are ushering this thing?
So you didn't need that to propose. God forbid. Gen Z were the first people that discovered that you can be getting money online.
We, the older generations, we're now beginning to learn hustle from Gen Z.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to your favorite faith-based, kingdom-driven podcast. The name is Talk True, and we're so excited to bring you this brand new episode. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I'm not here alone. I'm here with fantastic men in the building, to have this amazing conversation. We're talking about Gen Z vibes and vices. And because we know we're in the season of the generation of Gen Z, everything is happening for them. The energy is, high up there. They're breaking new grounds, but also there are, negatives. So we're basically going to look at all of the sides and then have a fantastic conversation. I'm not here alone. In the building with me is our very own Spies, the Whistle.
Hello.
Spies is a fantastic artist. Please, Spies, welcome to the show. Say hi to your
much.
People right there.
Hello, my people. We are here.
Yes.
We are here to talk through.
Exactly.
And only the truth.
Absolutely. And I have here in the building, Castro is a music exec, is a member of the family, is a friend of the house, and we're super excited to have you, Castro. Say hi to your people right
Hello,
there.
my people. How are you now? We don't show.
Yes,
And
thank
I
you.
go here talk today.
Absolutely. And always a privilege and honor to do this with him. I call him His Excellency. He likes to be called simply CDO. You're welcome, sir. Welcome to the building, as usual.
Thank you. You know, add Gen Z for my name.
Okay, so the conversation is a little more open to everybody. We're talking about Gen Z, the vibes and the vices. The vibe here simply talking about the positives, everything positive that they bring to the plate, their energy, in the entertainment, they are killing it, across board. They are winning. I mean, Thames just won the Grammys, in fashion industry, they're there. So basically, the vibes, the positives. What do you make of the Gen Z positive? It feels like this is their generation. First of all, 25% of our population is that, Gen Z. So that means that we have a future.
Yeah, I feel like Generation Z is like the luckiest of generations.
Why do you say so?
Because they came when the internet was booming, when the internet has been circulated. So I feel like Gen Z, they came in when everything is happening.
I on the
Musically,
other hand,
they benched all everybody. Technically, they bench everybody. You know, so those are like the luckiest of generations.
I on the other
Castro
hand,
say something.
yeah, I feel like they are very entitled.
We're going to come to that. We're definitely going to come to that. But we're basically looking
We're
at
talking
the
about the
positives.
positives
Yes.
first.
Okay.
You know, do you think that their only leverage is the internet? I mean, when you look at, but they're talented.
Leverage.
Yes,
Internet.
is the internet. If you take away the internet, do you think that the buzz that the Gen Z have will still be there?
I think that comment should be 80% correct. I think so. Because basically for me, I feel like everything about the Gen Z, respect to the Gen Z, so I know so go come
Shout out to
Now, but I think basically because when you see them and the way they you know, the way they carry them, their charisma and all of them and all of that,
There's one
they make you feel like
confidence.
yeah, they are the one. Everything about the internet right now is about
But it is
they
them.
make you feel like we should be giving thanks to them that they are the age that brought the internet to us and to the existence in general. So that's where my entitlement statement came from. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but then let us say, let's not take it away from them. I think even outside the internet, there's a way they would have found themselves to survive.
Bro,
I think they are smart.
I feel like Gen Z is the confidence that they came with first in the music
How
industry.
about the talent? Exactly. How about the talent?
There's actually nothing about Gen Z.
There's everything about
Okay.
Gen Z.
There's actually nothing about the Gen Z.
Okay.
At the time, the bloomers were this age. It was as if they were everything.
Yeah, was it as pronounced as this?
Yes, way back in the 70s, early 80s, when they were about the age bracket you have down for Gen Zs, they felt that they had the whole world. It was at that time that we were beginning to see the best of music, the 82s, 83. It was at that time that we're beginning to see fashion. People like Michael Jackson, people like most of the great names we know now. So what I think is happening to Gen Z is just the time. Like what Spice said, that they are the luckiest generation. Yet, he forgot to use that word yet. Because the next generation, the what's generation after Gen Z? The Alpha also.
Gen Alpha, yes.
Gen Alpha. They're greater than Gen Z already.
Really?
But they have not come of age. Yes, they are still under their parental guidance.
We should wait for them to.
You understand? But if you're lucky to know a few of them, I'm lucky to have one at home.
Yes,
one
sir.
or two at home. You understand? They are far ahead of Gen Z, even technology wise. Even the computer you're talking about, what they are great, and they are about to emerge. So what is happening to Gen Z is just their timing. You know, technology wise. This is the age of the internet from 2000.
That's why I call them the luckiest.
Yes,
Because of
digital
timing.
They are the ones that are within the workforce, within the age brackets, where they actually make great use of the internet and things like that. The problem, why is looking like there's so much greatness about Gen Z, is that they have given other generations complex. Especially the older generation. Look at the Nigerian politicians now. When they want to dance like Gen Z.
True.
If they want to campaign, they want to dress like Gen Z. Mothers at home, when they are going for parties now, they want to dress like Gen Z.
Do TikTok.
They do TikTok. When they get to parties, they play.
I mean,
they want to do
Arasta's mother
shaku.
came out to
You
say
understand?
that
So
your mother should do
there's
TikTok.
as if the world has just stopped for everybody to copy Gen Z. That's the problem. If we the OGs will remain as OGs and rep what the OG is all about, the Gen Z people will not match up. They will not meet up with.
Sorry to cut you in. Even the OGs now, all of them, they want to dance Ozeba.
That's the problem.
Even in the gospel industry, the kind songs where they pop now,
Absolutely.
for church.
Gen Z creator. So
So
that's the problem. We're suddenly now all turning and copying, just the way Africa at some point, or even now, suddenly just embrace the Western culture, and we have forgotten our own. Even though our culture is greater than the Western culture, richer than the Western culture, that's what is just happening. Every other generation. Sometimes I sit and I play music from the 70s, from the 80s, great music, sweet, better lyrics than what we have now. But if there's a party, we want to all play what's going on now. So it's just that the whole world trying to embrace or be like, and I know what's causing it. It boils down to men. You know, they say for men, life begins at 40. But for women, life ends at 25. So what happens is that older men hang out a lot with younger women. So the Gen Zs now, the female Gen Zs now, are the ones running the older men. They are the ones they copy. They are the ones they talk to. They are the ones they take advice from.
That's a valid point.
Codedly. You understand? Codedly. So it is that influence. Because the people spending the money, the people who control the economy, rely on
the Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs.
For thinking.
Exactly. For relaxation, for thinking, for everything. So it is the effect that we're suffering. A bank MD now who wants to have end of year party will leave his wife at home and go to the Caribbeans with a 17 or 18 or 25-year-old girl, and he will ask the girl that our end of year party, who do you think she will play? And the girl will say, Rema. Then he will come and tell his corporate communications that bring Rema. He's not going to tell them who advised him to play Rema.
Of course.
And even at the party while Rema is playing, he'll be sleeping. Because he got no business with Rema. But the girl rubbing his head has said, Rema is the in thing. I remember when we were in Globacom, before Mike Adenuga takes any decision, he would talk to his very young son, who's Gen Z. And when he comes to meet you, he'll be bragging. You think that he's up to date, but he gets his information. So that's the same thing. Most people, it is that influence.
I feel like shout out to
they are running. See, they are running showbiz. They are running everything.
Yeah. They are practically running
shout out
everything.
to Tonu Elumelu. I feel like he has influence from the Gen Z surrounding him.
I call him the coolest billionaire.
He doesn't even hide it. His daughters, the ones the Gen Zs around him,
I call him the coolest. You will seem cool if Gen Zs run your things for you. Even them Jay-Z, them Jay-Z, they don't sack all the old. They don't sack all the older people where they work for them. Or they don't bring 20-year-old, 19-year-old.
I don't believe that. It's looking so because it's what's obtainable. Okay, look at what Kendrick did at the Super Bowl.
Okay, Super Bowl. Okay.
He brought the OG style.
Yeah.
Look at his performance. It was nothing Gen Z about it.
Yeah.
Look at Serena's dance steps.
I'm telling you.
That's from the old school. And the whole world is, even Gen Z people that are copying it. Yeah. Footballers score now, they do the step everywhere. So it is just influence. We've allowed them influence everything.
No, but it was because it was because the crowd, the majority of the crowd, the people that came there.
It's not true.
It was the generation of Kendrick. Nah, waiting happen be that.
True.
No, that's the truth.
So what he's saying
is influence. It's just influence.
What he's saying.
It doesn't seem cool to
Gen Z. No, wait.
I'm telling you, I have
no. Script work.
What he's saying is,
I'm telling you,
I'm coming. Spice, please calm down. What he's saying, and where I cannot totally understand him, is if a particular generation or set of people decide that, okay, we want to stick to our own.
Yes.
And we want it to flourish.
Yes.
But we have allowed the influence of Gen Z.
Yes. Their influence
of which almost all of us here are guilty.
They are bolder.
What's your problem with Gen Z?
No. That's why I said.
We're going to get to that.
That's why I said, of which almost all of us here are guilty of it one way or the other.
You know why they are bolder? They are bolder because of their upbringing.
Yes.
They have come, just like I said, they are lucky. They've come in a better economy. Homes are more
in Nigeria. Within the context of Nigeria, better economy.
Everywhere in the world. Exposure, everything. Homes.
Everything will happen for Yankee now. Gen Z's
homes
for
have
Nigeria
better economy now. Homes eat well.
Really?
Now, yeah, better than before. Forget about what they're telling you. People are living better now.
Of course.
You understand? The average home now has everything, almost everything you can think.
Before to get DSTV,
PS5.
You understand?
Before to get DSTV or PS5.
When Nigeria will be playing, you come to a street, maybe only 4 people get TV.
True.
You understand? And everybody will want to go and watch through the window. But now DSTV is everywhere. There's information, computer and everything. So
there is no home now. If you go to ghettos, you see DSTVs everywhere.
Challenge everything. They are not afraid to challenge the status quo and things like that. So
now that's the standard of living.
That's the privilege they have. That's the edge. But don't take it away from them. The Gen Zs are very intelligent. And they are daring. And one thing I like about them is their entrepreneurial spirit.
Exactly.
You understand? Very soon, in Nigeria, everybody you hardly find poor people anymore.
Mhm.
They are ready. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said that I remember when I used to trek from Ikeja to VI, carrying my CV to go look for a job. If we had the opportunities we had now, I wouldn't have bothered leaving my house. If we had the TikToks, the Instagram, the internet, and everything way back then, I wouldn't have bothered. But then
That's
we
why I
had
said
nothing.
they were lucky.
You understand? The best we could get was just to get a bank job. You understand? But these people, they have opportunities, endless opportunities. Why would somebody wake up now and tell you that I'm an event planner? Why would somebody wake up and tell you that I'm a makeup artist? In 1992, you tell somebody you're an event planner. You plan? It's your father's funeral that you wake up.
Where would you even see the opportunity to expose yourself?
But there's a lot happening now. You see young people, you talk to a young man say, I'm a content creator. You know, I read
Gen Z.
I read something some years ago. I didn't believe it, but it's happening now. Like about 10, 15 years ago, I read a book where a man was saying that in 50 years that you wouldn't have medical doctors, you wouldn't have lawyers. He was talking about professions that would have been obsolete. And when I read that, I was like, is it possible? How can you say we wouldn't have engineers? But I'm beginning to see that it's going to happen. And this Gen Z will usher that era. So, yeah, they are great.
Yeah, there was a while ago, was Elon Musk. He came on the internet. He said, even if you don't have a CV, as far as you know how to code.
Skill, yes.
As far as you know how to code, send a DM to a certain company. He said, even if you don't have education, you don't have full-time education, as far as you know coding now in computer, that is still Gen Z. Because most of the coding, everything about this coding era, now Gen Z learn and pass. Shout out to them,
My younger brother that is a pure Gen Z that usually he would say, bros, how far? Find me something now. Find me something for weekend. Find me. Baba, no, they ask me for things again. I used to tell my friends, the guy go enter computer. This one not be even Yahoo they do. He go enter computer, carry one coin, put on for where the coin go grow, he go collect money, do this one. Before you know, money don't double, bets don't they, different things don't they.
So
every weekend they are chilling.
They have.
That's what I'm talking.
So
I said,
how do we?
It is not an understatement.
From the context of Nigeria and Africa, how do we enhance this group of people who have talents, who are very skilled, who are doing well for themselves? You know, to have it 25% of your population being this category, and then you see what they're doing. What environment can you create around them to ensure that there is a positive effect on
the
society? Because at the end of the day, they are creating jobs. You know, you find in fashion they are creating jobs, in music. You know, a typical artist like Rema, there's a system around Rema. You know, there's a manager there.
Whether you like it or not,
there's a producer.
But you see, Nigeria, unfortunately, Nigeria is our society is very responsible. Our society is highly irresponsible. Nigeria is irresponsible. Society, yes, highly irresponsible. Nigeria is a society where a young man of, let's say, 20, 25 years is expected to provide food for himself, provide food, provide car to ride on. He gives himself practically everything to be comfortable. And if care is not taken, the parents will even still wait for you to come and take care of them. That's the society we have. So what you see this Gen Z, it's just their own personal hustle. This Rema you're mentioning, how many Remas are we going to have? It's just their personal hustle. So there's no enabling environment for them to thrive.
So how
the skills we're seeing, the giftings that they have, the only thing is that their boldness and because they say never say die, never say never attitude they have is what is pushing them. So that's why you only see them in the arts. The Gen Z influence is mostly in the arts, because it's in the art that.
But a few who are in tech as well.
A lot of them in tech.
Art and tech basically, but
a lot of them, like 90%
you will not notice them in the corporate environment. You will not notice them in oil and gas. You will not notice them in other places where you need synergy.
So isn't that a sign for a right-thinking government to zoom into that space? And because your GDP can benefit from that, you know.
So yes, conversations are going on around that now. We're hoping that this government is the right-thinking government.
But then that's another problem. Do you think we have a government that, because normally our government don't even see us as right-thinking people. You understand? Our government look at us and say,
No, he was
now they are
Not-
categorizing everybody else
not
now
this-
as even a Gen Z.
actually not this government.
Not this government.
Not this
This
government.
This
It is only Buhari's government that was saying the youths are lazy. The youth, I'll call them.
True.
Not only that
True.
one, they say youths, lazy youths.
There's
Not be this
privileged
one.
information. This government,
This one,
the conversations are going,
Now,
in the right direction. There's support. There's going to be support
He's
for
seeing everything.
creativity.
He
There's
knows.
going to be support, and
One thing I like about him is the type that listens to young people. He gives
he,
opportunities.
there's even he has young people around him, and he
gives that forum.
He has offices, in place to take care of that. But Rome wasn't built in one day, so it will take a while for us to start seeing it on a larger scale. But basically, it is when that is done. Apart from that, the Gen Z people, like you say, kudos to them. Their hustle. We, the older generations, we're now beginning to learn hustle from Gen Z, because these people don't believe you. You see a 21-year-old girl, she wakes up and she'll tell you, I'm going for this, and she starts on nothing. During our own time, if they don't give you money to set up, you don't do anything. We waited for a proper setup or a proper funding to do anything. But these Gen Z people, they don't even use their certificates. Yes, they don't wait for anything. They don't use their certificates. Think it, they are doing it already.
I have a girl on my street. She's just 23 years. She rented a duplex. You understand? That she stays there, but she uses it as a salon, and she's popular. She's 23 years old. She drives a Benz. She's my friend. I asked her, how were you able to get a Benz at your age? You have a house in Lekki and you have even turned it to a salon. She said, I should not look at her small because she's Gen Z or this, that. She had actually started this business from when she was like 16, 17. That's a beautician kind of business. And she's been doing it. And that since then, she's been saving money till now. Like, I was very encouraged. Like, till today, the girl is even one of my major encouragement. Anytime I pass her place, I'm like, this girl, you did well for yourself. It's surprising. They have push.
That one said this. So many Gen Z will get back up. They get so many things that they run.
They look at
No, but we cannot take it away from the fact that there are some of them that are actually hustling.
I spoke about their boldness
and their hustle
spirit. So even the ones who work by night and sleep by day still find a way to have a front. Unlike before. You understand? Way back, some 20 years ago, food runs girl and food runs girl. Don't get anything with it. You understand? But you can't find a food runs girl now. If a Gen Z girl is a baddie, there's a front. The money she's making from whatever she does, she's putting it somewhere. So it's very easy for them to quickly clean up their act.
Yes.
You understand?
True.
So that's the thing about them. There's so much positives about them. You get me? Unlike way back where from 18, 19, a girl starts hustling. By the time she's 45, you don't broke.
Apart from the fact that they are lucky, they are the luckiest of generations. Their zeal, their
drive,
enthusiasm.
They are very enterprising.
Yes.
Very, very.
Very,
very.
And there's access to information. Don't take that away from this generation that they are privileged, that he said, and lucky. They have access to information. You understand? It is now that there's nothing you need information on. If I say now I want to become a tailor, I can easily go on YouTube and learn to sew in 1 week. We didn't have that opportunity. If you want to be tailor, first of all, maybe the entire Ikeja, maybe there are only 3 or 4 places where you can learn tailoring. And when you get there, they will tell you, say, you have to pay 18,000 naira. That 18,000 naira could take you 6 months to raise. Why you're raising the 18,000 naira, you're still spending from it. So it became impossible to chase your dream at that point. But right now, it's so easy.
Gen Z were the first people that discovered that you can be getting money online from YouTube and bro, those people.
It's called monetization. Nobody knew it. Don't worry. Nobody knew it was them.
Started it.
I leave them. They're bad.
Those are the positives,
And I think you had mentioned something. You had said that they tilt towards a particular or an area of specialization. Arts, if you remove them from that box,
arts, IT.
So there are a few myths about Gen Z. Some people say that they are very lazy and entitled, and so that means that, are they lazy generally, or when you remove them from that box and put them in the...
No, generally, intelligent people are lazy. Generally, when people are highly intelligent, they are lazy. It's difficult to find a very intelligent person who is not lazy. Why? Because when you're very intelligent, you easily find easy way to do things. Yes, when your brain works more than any other.
Is that not what they call working smart instead of working hard?
Whatever, that's what you call it in the corporate world. That's what they call it. But the truth is that most intelligent people are lazy people, and the Gen Z is an intelligent generation. So they will definitely seem lazy to other generations. They don't seem lazy to themselves. You are seeing them lazy because you come from a generation where you have to wake up 4 a.m.
I remember what you used to tell me back in the days. That time, cause we always go studio, make music till like early in the morning. I go come, maybe I will go in house, go crash. If I did crash, he go wake me early in the morning. Say, oh boy, get up. Why are you still sleeping? I go say, but you know say I record. You know say I record all through the night. Why are you waking me up? I mean, because I go say, get up. You are not supposed to be sleeping. This is laziness.
You understand?
Yeah. So that thing now, they always disturb me. Say, oh boy, you don't they sleep reach 11. You don't they sleep. You don't they sleep your time away. You know.
Wow.
So that is his mentality.
I think it's a culture thing. It's just where we're coming from. During our own time, it is assumed that by 5-6 a.m. in the morning you should be up. You know, start the day early and achieve more. You understand? But this generation believes it's just doing what you got to do at the time you have to do it.
I'm making music,
so they don't believe in you just staying awake or hustling or putting out so much energy for what you don't know. So they may seem lazy to other generations, but to themselves, I don't think they don't see it as being lazy. So it depends on whose spectrum are you actually viewing it from exactly. So
another myth is that they don't like process. They like to jump process and just arrive at the end.
Still a very common thing with intelligent people.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. This thing you just said now to me is like a
so let me tell you what intelligence does. When I was in secondary school, we would write essay. My English teacher would call me to the staff room and said, John, you're an intelligent young man. I want to teach you something. I said, sir, what? He said, when you write, learn to what people will say in 15 words. Learn to put it in 3 words. And I asked him, so how do I do that? He said, improve your vocabulary. You understand? I said, he said it shows intelligence. I said, how, sir? He said, yes. He said, let me give you an example. You walk into a room, there are 15 people, all standing because there's no chair. And you walk into the room and you look around there, you go and sit on the window. Anybody looking at you guys will know that you're more intelligent than the rest of them. You found solution. This generation believes in solution.
Right.
And intelligent people always look out for solution. So when you are someone who is so used to
and at the end of the day, it will look like you are lazy.
Exactly. it encourages laziness. It's not even that it will look like. True. It encourages laziness. A Gen Z guy walks into your kitchen, he's hungry, he sees raw rice, he sees raw beans, he sees Gary, he just take Gary, put water, put sugar, drink and go and sleep. Very simple. You understand? It's not as if he cannot cook. He can decide to make rice. But at that point, what is on his mind is to satisfy this hunger.
Sharp.
And Gary water and sugar will do that. Simple. You understand? Then you walk into the kitchen and say, you this boy, you're so lazy. Why did you drink Gary sugar boiled rice? You are thinking of him boiling rice so that the whole house will eat. He's not thinking about the whole house. He just wants to satisfy his hunger. You understand? So he's not lazy. He's just thinking smarter. You understand? But our society, we have a culture that we have built that does not encourage that. So now they are ushering us into a new way of living, but we're not familiar. That's why I said that the generation coming after them will even be smarter and wiser than them. You understand? So it's just a shift. It's just a shift. That's why I said there's nothing special about it. It's just a shift. If we were born now, we'll be like them. If they were born our own time, they would have been like us. You understand? So it just keeps going.
So you feel like there's nothing really special about it.
It's just time and chance.
But there are some very special
time and chance
brainiacs that came with these Gen Zs.
Every generation will have that.
In the music industry now, everybody they sing go inside. There's high life, there's normal Afrobeat. Rema just come. Now we always speak about it. Rema would, if everybody is going fast, the guy will slow the beats.
And like I said,
he's a genius.
It comes every time. Let me take you back. Before Fela, people used to come do music 3 minutes, 2 minutes. You just come back. Fela came and Fela used 3 minutes to do intro. instrumental,
and
no
the whole
song.
song will last for like 10 minutes.
True.
And it became great. So every generation will have something. Every generation will have something. Another generation will come again and do something differently. It's just how life is. What I have said is that the rest of the generations, we have made Gen Z very popular and special, because what we have done is that we've all stopped life to be copying them.
True.
I don't know if that's how people copied
But
every
wait,
new generation.
But let me ask a question. I'm sorry. Doesn't that make it seem like maybe they are the best generation?
Only for a while. Only for a while. Only for a while. When the alphas get to their 20s now, 25, we're going to forget Gen Z.
See, even when it comes to like productivity, like music production, every other film, the producers will tell you, guy, bring in these Gen Zs and tap from them.
Yeah.
If not, time will leave you for back. So
you.
if you don't catch up as a music producer or a movie producer or any kind of production that you are doing, if you don't bring these guys to enlighten you, to show you how it is done, everybody.
But you forget that what we call old school now at some point was like this.
Old school, no, they work again.
There was a time. Hold on, let me take you back again. In the 90s, when home video started, this is a movie you're talking about. When home video started in the 90s, the days of living in bondage, and some other things. Mike, Rihedima, and the rest of them, Tony Tomato, and the rest of them. When they all started, and suddenly from nowhere, people like Jim Ike them jumped out, and people were like,
already Gen Z.
Exactly. You understand? People like Jim Ike, what's wrong with them? Fuck you up and everything. It was as if that's where we were. Jim Ike, what's the GQ? What's that? What Chidi Bokeme? Where are they? All those was like Gen 5, all of them. They ran out. They came out and it was as if
Bob Manuel.
What I'm simply saying,
and people,
you have to be moving
and
with
the
time.
old school. Then we're like, wow, these guys are it. And the likes of Kanayo started struggling with them.
Yeah.
Now, if I see
those
Jim
were
Ike,
the OGs.
if I see Jim Ike on TV now, it's so it looks funny. You understand? Because then we have new kids on the block. New Gen Z boys are coming out. The likes of Timini and the rest of them.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying.
So
in another 10 years,
it's just a matter of time.
Time and chance.
That time will pass. Gen Alpha is coming.
Let them enjoy it. But you know the good thing about people
But
like
me,
us,
I just know
we
say
will keep
the
following all the
positive-
generations.
the positives about this Gen Z. The positive about this Gen
Do
Z is
the
vast.
positive outweigh the
It
negative?
is
though?
sweet.
No,
Do the positive outweigh the
I
negative?
don't think so.
Are you responding to my question on what
I'm
Spice said?
responding to your question that I don't think they're positive.
Let's talk
outweighs
about
their
their
negative.
Negatives, yeah. Which is what we're saying. What are some of the ills that befall Gen Z, especially when they don't seem to, hit the bullseye?
I said the number one thing: entitlement.
Very true. On the list,
Entitlement.
on the scale of their negatives, entitlement 1. Second one is abuse of everything, substance.
Yeah.
That is where I have a
nature,
problem with them.
Everything. They
The
are
abuse
excessive.
of everything. That's the
They're
Very
excessive.
excessive.
I don't
That's
feel like
the
So
vices.
entitlement,
Yeah.
their excessiveness, and I don't know what would be thought, but these two top the list. Yes, they are
that's
very
where I have a
excessive
problem with them.
and very
excessiveness.
entitled.
Very, very entitled. Though.
Maybe after that, maybe ungodly.
Yeah.
He knows.
I was-
why you,
okay,
why are you
Spice-
laughing?
Spice, you want to say something?
No. I'm saying this guy is wicked.
So on the list,
I'm saying-
entitlement,
Yeah.
excessiveness, and ungodliness.
excessiveness is what me I can say about Gen Zs. They are vices.
You don't believe they're entitled?
I really do not.
He knows that they are.
I really do not know.
They are very entitled mother effers. I'm telling you,
They are entitled.
too entitled. So where you see that one, if you
I feel like that this Gen
like the
Alpha, they
corporate world
entitled.
now, if
Yeah.
you
No.
people in the corporate world will
Gen
attest
Alpha,
to
they
it.
never
Bro,
release
Gen
that.
Z is the hustle. People
Gen
wey
Alpha
dey
never
hustle
release
well,
abi
they no be-
anything.
They are very
They don't
entitled.
get entitlement
They are very
issues.
entitled. All
Now
these,
this new generation,
you know,
now,
it was
I
until
ain't go say, buy me
until
this.
Gen Z's that we start hearing things like mental health.
Exactly.
bro, I used to think about that. I used to think about that thing all the time.
That's nonsense. That's
They go abuse you
entitlement.
small. You
Eh.
go begin say mental
My
health,
mental
break
health.
down. Those things we didn't have it in our time.
Oh,
See,
don't
what
see
they
am.
refer to as abuse of mental health now was what our parents used to train us. That's what gave us sense.
It is as simple as that.
You understand? That's what gave us sense.
I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
You understand? And suddenly now, I can't remember. I was talking to somebody, and the child told me that in their school there is no position. There is no first position. No. It's either you pass. Or, in fact, I'm not sure anybody feels anymore. I was like, why? Yeah. Why wouldn't there be first? I said, because, they don't want anybody to give anybody complex. If
wow. It's a lie.
I said, really? But you people do inter-house sports and you run and somebody comes first or second.
Yeah.
You understand that? So what do you mean by no position? No position? No, there has to be position. The child that did not do well should know that he didn't do well and that he failed.
Yes.
And you go back and think of doing well. Say, no, that you give them complex. You will make the child start feeling somehow, that the child feels somehow.
This person that is answering, is he a teacher? Or is she a teacher?
So no, it was I think I went for an event and I was talking to a teacher. Yes. And what I see in that is that we're beginning to
this has to be one of the vices.
We're beginning to create an environment where people are not responsible anymore. Irresponsibility is also on their list.
Irresponsibility,
yes.
Irresponsibility is very, very top on their list,
It is.
So, and I think boils down to that access to information. We're beginning to copy the Western lifestyle verbatim. We're beginning to take everything hook, line, and sinker, how the white man wants to live, forgetting that we are blacks, we are tough. We should have our own way of doing things. You understand? When we were small, younger, at the end of the term, some people will not get Christmas present. Why? Because they did not pass.
But exactly.
When school is resuming, I had a friend in school then. When they come back, they will sew new uniform for his brother and buy his brother new school bags. And he will return with his old uniform. I'll be like, I'm waiting there.
That's a statement.
Someone can know my name, Papa saying no pass. You understand?
But that's a good narrative.
And nothing spoil.
Funny enough,
now
mental encourage you to do better.
Him, yes, the guy is out now. He's doing very well. Why? Because he developed that tough skin. So what works for A will not work for B. You don't come and give blanket treatment to okay. Want every child to be great. It's not possible. If we are all great, then there's no greatness. If we all come first, then there's no last.
I saw something on the internet when somebody said, when we were then men used to go to war. Men used to prep for war. Yeah. Men used to, when you are a man, you know that when you turn 18, you automatically become a soldier. But now,
men argue.
Men don't do like women.
Men kneel down to propose.
They argue and gossip.
Men kneel down to propose. Why do men kneel down to propose? And is this Gen Z people that are ushering this thing?
No, but it's been a norm for
I'll kneel down to propose to my queen.
Then it was fairy tales. We used to hear about it. We never saw anybody do it.
So you didn't kneel down to propose?
God forbid. Kneel down to propose. How can I kneel? Why will I kneel down to propose?
It is against our
kneel down to propose. It's not in the Bible now. It's not
we're coming there.
Read the Bible now. For this reason shall a man do what?
Leave his father and his mother.
And do what?
And cleave onto his wife.
Do you cleave kneeling down? You can't cleave to somebody kneeling down in front of the person now.
Oh, deep.
So the narrative is...
That's why I said it's fairy tale.
Borrowed it now.
It's fairy tale. This Gen Z people causing it. How do you see my Gen Z friend looking at me when I said I did not kneel down? Yeah, he's planning to kneel down. That's what he
For me, I'll kneel down. No.
Sorry.
Are you Gen Z?
Please, it's Gen Z. Give me a Gen Z.
I'll kneel down for my queen.
Man, you cannot kneel down for your queen because if she's a queen, you are a king.
Absolutely.
True. And we are kings and priests.
You don't kneel down. You say you
I did. I know
you kneel down.
No, I don't feel like I kneel down. Lord, I ask for forgiveness.
You did say true.
No,
Baba kneel down. Why you kneel don't pee?
So you see.
Spice.
No, but I will confess before you go. I won't say for me I kneel down.
You look like man when kneel down.
Shame will kill me. I followed my friend once to go and propose to his wife. When he knew that, I almost died of shame. I turned away. I was like, God, how am I here?
They make me laugh.
Why you are different, child?
It's not about being different. It's not whose culture. Where did you learn it from? Did your grandfather kneel down? We keep borrowing things that we don't know.
That is why Peter Doche say he will never kneel down.
It's not even. It's not. See, I love to respect women. No. I cherish women and they should be treated like eggs.
True.
You understand? But life has principles. You understand? You're bringing a woman to come and live with you to become your better half, but you are the head, and you are doing that kneeling down. You know, people don't understand spiritual concepts and principles. People don't know what. So when we talk about generational curses, when we talk of things happening in the family, were you there when those things happened? No, you were not. You were somebody that accepted it on behalf of everybody. So when you want to marry a woman, you want to take a woman as a wife, and you put your knee down to beg her, would you be my wife? Then she comes into your house tomorrow and she starts dictating what happens in your house tomorrow. Then you get angry, you get offended. That's why is this woman trying to run the house? When you brought her into your house on your knees, come on.
Very basic.
You have entered a realm you don't understand to go and commission what will work against you.
But he's just kneeling down.
It's not just kneeling down.
It's not just, my brother.
It's not just kneeling down. If I take you to a shrine, will you kneel down?
No.
Is it not just kneeling down? Kneel now. If I take you to the road and show you a boy now and say, "Can kneel before this boy," won't you look at me like I'm mad? Kneel now if he's just kneeling down. Nothing is ordinary in this life. That's the first thing we need to understand. That's one of the mistakes human beings make. Nothing is ordinary. Nothing is ordinary. Nothing. Even this Gen Z we're talking about, even that Gen Z name they give them, nothing is ordinary.
Where did he come from? I mean,
exactly. So you need to understand. But
so, looking at the vices, and I don't want to use the word religion, but is Christianity supposed to be a solution to those vices?
What is
vices of Gen
Christianity?
Z?
Yes.
What is Christianity?
Because Christianity is supposed to be the solution to man's deficiency.
What is Christianity?
Christianity is the receiving and imbibing the nature
Christianity
of
is
Christ.
a religion. A religion is never a solution to anything.
Okay, so but
So
I'm sure you know.
Christ-
Yes, exactly.
Christ and the finished work is supposed to be a solution. But the truth is that somebody needs to teach them. Somebody needs to bring them to Christ. Somebody needs to let them understand. Somebody needs to stand in the gap for them. But it's not being done.
But we have a lot of churches. We have youth churches.
Focus. So the problem now is the focus.
Now there are even Gen Z pastors everywhere.
Gen Z pastors.
Spies. Spies.
You mean Gen Z papas?
Gen Z papas.
So the thing about focus is what's our focus as Christians? What are we looking at? What do we see? Do we even know what is happening? When we're talking about vices, we mentioned some things, entitlement, even the entitlement,
irresponsibility.
We spoke about abuse, drug,
Yeah. I strongly
sexual
believe in the
immorality.
fact that
You understand? But the church is not even aware of that. The church is acting as if
No, but the church can't even be held responsible for that.
it's not being responsible. It's just knowing and creating the environment.
I don't want to call names.
That
There
will-
was a church.
No, we don't
that
call
will
names on
encourage-
the
Yeah, there's a church. Me and my guy, we used to attend it close to our house somewhere in Lekki. When we were staying, I don't want to call the name of the place so people will not. That pastor, me, I've been the suspect. We go church. The guy, they greet everybody, wife, they greet women, they do this, they not Gen Z pastor. They do this, they do this, they do this. Before you know, few months down the line, me, I traveled out. When I came back, I heard that the church was dissolved. Why was the church dissolved?
Wow.
Pastor don't get everybody, people wife down, get
Back.
choirs, finish it.
But that one is not
all
because they be Gen Z.
Nah, Gen Z, old, all those papa,
It's not Gen Z. That
they
it's not
get time
because,
for that one.
it's not because it's Gen Z. It's just his nature. So it's just his nature. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot happening among young people. There's a lot happening in the world.
That is the
Even
thing.
people who are in the church that the church is not aware of. Our focus in the church, we're looking at numbers. We're looking at there's something somebody said this morning that got me, that even though pastors are not called CEOs, but they operate like CEOs. The guy said that once you set up an organization and your focus is growth, money, you have to pay salaries, You have to look at the books to see how money goes out and how money comes in. You need to look at the books and against income and things like that, that you lose focus. And that's what's happening. We sit in the church now. What we look at the end of the day, the pastor wants to know how many new converts. 200 people came in today.
But is it noble?
40 people stood up for altar call. Yes,
people
you have that.
Coming into Christ.
Yes, but what about the people you have already? How are they faring? What about the people who are growing, the young people? The Bible said that he left 99 to go and look for one. Is any pastor willing to leave 99 to look for one? This Gen Z we're talking about, they are like the one. We need to look at them. People are doing drugs at home. Young boys are doing drugs under their parents' roof, and their parents are church workers, deacons. They have no idea. You say you carry the Spirit of God, but you're not even discerning enough to know that your daughter just had an abortion. You say you carry the Spirit of God. You say you're a pastor. You say you are a deacon. You say you're this in the church. You're not even discerning enough to know that the boy in your house is on drugs. He comes out quiet. You think my son is very quiet. I tell people now, once you see a child behaving very quiet, look closely. He may be on drugs and is eating so into the fabric of the society. I learned this morning that there are about 15 million drug users in the country.
Wow. That's a huge number.
That's 2018 statistics.
Wow.
So it may have gone up. You're saying we have 25% of youth.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And if we have about 20 million drug users, I'm sure they are mostly youth. You understand? What is happening? So even in the church, I've been to a concert where a gospel artist was abusing some substance before going on stage. You understand? So we're just looking at what we shouldn't be looking at, and we're forgetting what we should look at. That the Bible said, train them
in the way
of the Lord, and when they grow, they will not depart. Are we doing that? What do we consider training them in the way of the Lord? Is it just making them to come to church 3 times in a week? How are we looking into what they are doing? How are we supporting them? How are we having conversations with them?
So, is it right for you to, as the parent, to be held accountable for like everything the child
almost
because most children are very
so from my observation, I've dealt with a lot of young people.
Their friends would,
from my observation,
teach them these things. Their schools or anywhere
you're not 100% responsible for how they turn out, but 60, 70, 80% you are responsible. Once in a while, you have a black sheep. You understand?
Yeah.
But most people look like the home they're coming from. And looking like the home you're coming from doesn't necessarily mean that if you're a drug user, it means somebody's using drug at home. If you're neglected, if you're not shown love, it's just like a girl.
Yeah.
Once a girl is not shown love at home, she's going to look for love outside.
Yes, sir.
If you see girls that have been loved at home by their father, by their parents, by their siblings, if they come outside, you can't bullshit them.
Yeah.
Very correct.
When you see girls that were not shown love at home, that they were not treated the way they are supposed to be treated, the minute they hit the road, the minute they get to 16, 17,
I agree.
when they start seeing freedom, the first thing they want to do is to get a lover. And that's where the mistake starts from.
Early pregnancy.
Early pregnancy.
That's where it starts.
Drug use. Because any boy you meet, whatever he says is sweet to your ear. Whatever he tells you to do, you want to do.
If he's
a smoker,
right.
if he's a smoker, you're definitely going to smoke.
Yeah.
If he's an armed robber, you're definitely going to be an accomplice.
Yeah.
You understand? Same with a guy. Any guy who does not have somebody at home that you can talk with, feel comfortable, who will not tell you what it means to be a guy, a boy, and nurture you, and you see him as your mentor. If you don't have a mentor at home, you're going to look for a mentor outside.
Because I used to tell my friends, I'm like, I have 3 sisters, and in my house, we worship them. Why do we do that? It is because of our dad.
Exactly.
The man will come home now, TV fee spoil. He go say, make everybody come. He go tell the girls, say, this. Go say, oh yeah, go. My father never whipped. Or now only words. He go just follow them, talk. Tell them to go. 3 girls. But the boys, why I go finish all our back? Because he believes say now we do them. So you get the way the man take nurture the girls, take nurture. So we automatically started worshiping our sisters. They be like, these girls not, you get. So we follow, if it's true.
So girls like that, there's nothing a guy, if she wants
and
to have a boyfriend,
well behaved.
if she wants to have a boyfriend tomorrow, she's going to have a boyfriend because she wants to have a boyfriend. It's not a need. There's no vacuum that's been created. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So let's move it from the family unit down to the church.
Yes, sir.
Same thing. You are in a church, you have young people, you don't pay attention to them. You don't pay attention to your youth church. You don't put people who will speak with them, who will find out. One of the issues we have with the church is that we are afraid to discuss some things. We feel that it's unholy, ungodly to say some things. You understand? There's nothing. I discuss almost everything with my boys. You're having a party. I say, how come you didn't invite the girls in your class? You should invite them now. Say, no, Dad. Boys roll together. Girls roll on their own. I say, oh, really? Is that how you do it in your class? But you know, tomorrow, if you want to invite the girls in your class, you can. He will look at me and walk away. I know what I'm doing.
You've sown a seed.
I'm doing that so that he feels very comfortable
True.
around the house to do anything.
True.
One of the things I learned early growing up was that the things that we're not allowed to do at home, we usually do them outside.
It is that simple.
I felt growing up as a child, I was so comfortable with the outside than home. For me, home was just a place to sleep and go to church.
Me too.
Because that's how they made it look. Thank God I turned out the way I turned out. But some people didn't survive it.
Yeah.
You understand? Some people felt more comfortable because outside you're allowed to smoke igbo, do anything, as in.
But to support what you're saying, it is very, very obvious now that if we want to really, really check it, most of the people that we are seeing out there that we are calling the drug users, most of them, if you check and where, they are from rich homes. And most of them are those ones where we say their papa, their mama no allow them come out. The moment they taste that opportunity outside, it's gone.
It's not only just no allow them come on.
No, what
there was no relationship.
You feel no allow them come on.
But you know the vibe with them.
Make them comfortable.
Yes,
again.
There's no relationship. Some parents think that all they owe their children is provision. To put money, food on the table, clothes on their back, pay school fees, buy them computer. No, that's not. There's emotional connection that you owe a child.
Yes,
if when I wake up and I stay a whole day and I don't see my children, at night I go to their room. And I notice sometimes, once I open their door, they jump up, like whatever they are doing, they stop. I say, calm down. Bring it out. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're chatting. Chat. I'll sit down.
Wow.
They're looking at me. I say, chat now. You're chatting with your friends. Male or female? No, Dad. I don't chat with girls. Very good. But I continue chatting with boys. And I will sit down and I walk away. Why? The guy has to feel comfortable. It is when he feels comfortable that he will bring out what you want to correct. You understand? Don't deceive me. Don't make me think there is nothing. No, how can? Are you not my blood? Don't make me feel like there's nothing. Bring it out. Show small of it. Then I'll call you one day and tell you, come. But you know, Jesus Christ. Say yes. You know we have a covenant with him, yes. You know there's some things that he will not let us do, or some things we should not do because of him. Say yes, Dad. I say this one, stay away from it too. So you need to focus on your studies. You should have friends, but don't let anybody take you to this, take you to this. Sometimes I call my boys and I teach them about cultism. I tell them my errors. I tell them how people wanted to put me into. I tell them the danger in following someone somewhere you don't know. That a friend can come and tell you, say, come and call, escort me, go somewhere. So you need to know where people are going. Don't get there and be surprised. You understand? So now the family unit, so also the church, we are not doing that. We are allowing, we think that it's just to set up youth church where they come and clap their hand. Clapping hand and reading Bible 247, nobody lives on that. Even the people who came to Christ for him to preach to them, at some point his disciples told him they are hungry.
Yeah.
He had to give them food.
I feel like there's a lot of judgment in the church.
Judgment, yes, but not even judgment yet. Enabling environment, interaction, just with these children. You see them walking out from the children's church, you just think that's all about them. That's not all they are about. There's a lot.
I feel like most of these children don't want to free themselves in the church because of the judgment. That's what I fear.
True. That whole, you know.
Because one time when we were growing up,
the church is very unforgiving. I think that's where you're going. The church is very unforgiving. So a boy will not even want the church to know that he smokes. So these are like these
issues that I have.
A boy will not even want the church to know, say he get girlfriend. A girl will not want the church to know that he's aborted. A girl will not want the church to know that he has.
Bro, if they blacklist you for church
2 months.
these days.
Why? Because The consequences, you understand, are terrible. They are there. They are worse than going to hell.
True.
So everybody comes pretending.
Do you know that my dad married 2 wives, and the church that we were going to, when he died, they were supposed to come and
they refused to come
to they refused.
It's very common now. They even go for you sometimes like they talk about marriage. I saw ordinary say get better. They say they know where them.
They refuse.
The hypocrisy in the church is too much.
So that's what is driving people away. Because the truth is that at the end of the day, human beings.
This is even something that we should even talk about.
Love.
Yeah.
You understand? Go to the island, come out at night and see young girls. What are they looking for? Sometimes people think that they're just coming out for money. No, it's not all of them coming out for money. Some of them just want warmth, love, to be recognized, to be cherished, to have an environment where they can just come and sit down and relax and have conversations. We don't have things like that in churches now.
But we do. We have youth programs, seminars, youth hangouts.
Once in a year.
You know.
But you know what I'm saying. You know the kind of judgment that is in the church when all the mama first look you say this one we don't go do.
Frown at what you're wearing.
This is the thing you wear. Bro, it's too much.
Condemnation.
Me, I grew up in Deeper Life. I grew up there. So when most of all these things, and even the main pastor, the Kumui, is not like that. The man, man, we say you feel come talk to, you feel come, he go follow you talk, he go advise you. It is those coordinators in districts. They are the ones judging everybody, causing all those problems.
Churches are empty in the Western world and it's coming to Africa.
Saying we will not wed you, we will not go and do this, we will not go and do that.
It's gradually coming to Africa because we're not doing exactly.
If churches
we're not doing mission.
Open up their heart and everything. People,
we're not
youths
doing mission.
Go meet pastor, say.
But when you say we're not doing missions,
help me.
We're increasing in number. Is it not mission that?
We're increasing in number because of the business model. We're increasing in number because of the business model. The pastors are after that growth. They are not after.
But Jesus is also after the growth.
Well, if Jesus was particularly or is particularly about the growth, there are so many things he wouldn't have done. So many things. So the growth is not, of course, there has to be growth, you know, because more people need to come in.
Yes, sir.
But he also thought about the people with him already. He also tried to make them better. You understand? But we are not doing that. We just want more and more people to come in. More and more people to come in. Now look at the kind of programs you have in churches. The biggest program in churches are deliverance service, crossover service. Those things are just purely for growth.
This is discipleship. This is the thing I'm talking
you understand?
About.
There's no discipleship. There's no core discipleship. One day I sat in church and I looked around. I said, do you know this church? This church of almost how many thousand people? I'm not sure they're up to 10 people. I know their names here. And I'm not sure they're up to 3 people who know my name in this church. But I've been in the church for
how long? Years.
You understand? But they just want you to come. You drive a nice car, they see you at the car park, they smile. The day they need your car, they come and meet you. And tell you that, can we have your car? You're asking me for my car, you don't know my name. For a church program. You have never asked me, how are you?
This is what I'm saying.
But you want to take my vehicle. And you make me feel that it's for the ministry,
work
for the
of
work
ministry.
of God.
So love has to start from the church. Like,
you get it?
It has
so
to.
That's the problem. The man stands there, he just ushers or he just dishes out word for you to take it whether you like it or not. And we live under the law of probability. If there's 100 people and I say somebody has a headache here, there must be one headache there. And young people sit down and look at you. This Gen Z we're talking about. Remember when we started from that Gen Z? They are very intelligent.
Yes.
So they sit and they watch you guys fool yourselves and they watch you guys do these things. For us who lived in the 80s and in the 90s, we may be fascinated by things like that because we're coming from a generation where there was problem. Plenty spiritual battles. So when you hear fasting like this, you come running. Gen Z people will not send you. Some 20-year-olds have not fasted in their life.
No, Gen Z is fast.
See, you understand? So you can't threaten him with 100 days. Somebody like me now, if somebody sees me on the road and say, you need to do 3 days, I will stop first of all and look back. Why? Because I know what I get where the person is coming from. If you say it to a Gen Z person, you will ask whether are you well. That's why you see the boldness. Some of these Gen Z people now that are criticizing. Okay, let me even tell you. A lot of pastors are shaping up now. A lot of churches are shaping up now. It is because of Gen Z people. Because they're not afraid of anything. They will tell you exactly how it is. They are ready to criticize anything you do. They don't fear. That whole thought job I anointed and do my prophet no harm. It will not be for them. Now Moses is their time. It's not for them. They don't know. They don't understand what it means. There's no fire coming down from heaven to burn anybody anymore. They don't understand. What they know is the love of God. They will tell you that the Lord that created them cannot kill them. You understand?
Yes,
so
sir.
they will query you and question you. So it is time for us to show love. It is time for us to create
an
environment that will make them see that we live differently. We keep talking Christian. Why were they called Christians in the first place? They looked at them and they saw the pattern of how they lived. This one will remove slippers, another person will wear it and he will not complain. One person will bring food and call other people to come and eat with them. And they were looking at them that these people are not living the way human beings live. There's somebody they live like.
Yes, sir.
They live like this one they preach. They were not called Christians because they said they are Christians. It was supposed to be derogatory. The term Christians. Because they saw a pattern. Do we see a pattern today? We don't. The same people I meet in nightclub are the same people I meet in church. I see some churches, I see people who sit in front, and I go on TikTok and I see them use vulgar words that I cannot use. I don't belong to any church. No pastor is my a spiritual father. But I can't go on TikTok and say some things. Why? Because there's something I fear. Gen Z boy will know that the reason the father is sitting in front of his church is because the father is donating money to that church. So when you tell him about church, tell him go and sit down. He's not seeing a lifestyle.
It is not culture.
Exactly. He's not. His father is not doing anything that will make him feel, no, there's something this man is following. Let me follow it. So there's a generation now that is about to turn everything upside down. You get me? And we need to show them love. We need to bring them closer. We need to create environment. We need to create activities. If a boy likes music, if a boy likes to dance, you want him to come to church where they only clap hands. Remember, I used to be in church. Should I keep mentioning? Most of them. But they got to a point where there's nothing again to look forward to. If you go to your pastor now with a good program, plan for the youth, he's not going to support it. Why? Because it's not part of his own agenda. His own agenda is what he's pursuing, what will grow the account balance and make him a big brand.
This is how I see. I'm sorry. This is the truth.
You understand? So young people are not fascinated by things like that. That's why it's as if the Gen Z vices are so many. They are not seeing anything that looks like what they should learn from. The love in the world looks more genuine than the one in the church. So they follow the world. Yes, now if you go where they smoke Igbo like this, once you sit down and keep your finger like this, somebody go pass you kush now.
That's why I say judgment.
They will give you kind of make you take now because if you the guys welcome you
love. Yes.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this episode has turned out to be something
I've talked about a lot.
I didn't expect it to be. Honestly, I was thinking, okay,
have we started? I'm not even sure we've started.
But we might have a part 2, just like we're about to have, part 2 of the previous episode. But it's been an amazing time, man of God, speaking with you. Thank you, Spice, for coming around. I hope when we reach out to you again, you come back.
Absolutely.
Castro.
Nice,
and you blew my mind.
Nice to be here. I would always come if you call me again.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for it. By the time you're seeing this, it will be brand new, fresh. Thank you always for sticking out with us on here on Talk True Podcast. See you on the next episode. Peace and love.